Shalom, shalom, h.o.i, shalom, Bashem Yahweh, Yahweh be your peace, in the name of Yahweh, so begotten Son. Alright, Con, so we wanna I want to get into Matthew. I'm gonna go ahead and do verse 5, 7 verses of Matthew chapter 5, precepts. First, I'd like to go to Colossians. Colossians 3:17 says, "And whatsoever ye do, in word or deed, do all by Shem Yahweh, giving thanks to the Most High, by Shem Yahweh." Alright, so also I want to get this, because a lot of people, they won't want to believe some of what's in the New Testament. Some people don't want to believe what's in the New Testament unless they see it in the Old Testament. So let's get 1 Peter 4:11. It says, "If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High," or a.o.i. "If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which the Most High giveth him, that the Most High in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen." So I'm gonna get a precept for that out of the Apocrypha, Sirach 9:15. I like bringing these two precepts out together because it lets you know to communicate within the realm of the law, within the law, Sirach 9:15. "Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High." So that's what we have to do. Make sure that all our communication is dealing with the law of the Most High. One moment. So yeah, we always have to make sure that we're dealing with these laws, statutes, and commandments, because that is the foundation. So, alright, scratch that. Alright, so we're going to go to Matthew. We're going to start at chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "And seeing the multitude, he went up into the mountain, and when he was set, the disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." So I want to go precept. "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." kingdom of Shemayim, which is heaven in the Hebrew. Let's get Isaiah chapter 66, verse 2 says, "For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith Yahweh. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word." So there we go again, going back to the word, like Sirach 9:15 and 1 Peter 4:11. He likes us to deal within his law, because this is the covenant that he made between us, between the Israelites and himself. All right, let's get 1 Samuel 5:22. Salakia. 1 Samuel 15:15. 15:22 says, "And Samuel said, Hath Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams." So he wants us to be obedient, as he's saying, like, because he's speaking on sacrifice, he's speaking on rams. So this is the sacrifice that he is pleased with, is being obedient, is following his word and not breaking it all the time, and then coming bringing sin offerings, because he said he gets sick of the smell, because we would sin and sacrifice, sin, sacrifice, sin, sacrifice. That's just like what it says in we can go there real quick. In Hebrews, he speaks about one second, slot. Salakia, give me 1 second. But in Hebrews, it speaks about us trodden underfoot the sacrifice of Yahweh. Hebrews 10, I believe. Salakia. Yeah, I really want to get that, but he said he get tired of us just pretty much doing the same thing. It's the same thing as if your child, you keep on telling them and punishing them for what they've done wrong, just like he had kept putting us into captivity, every time we went against what he said. But he said this is going to be the last captivity. I really want to find that. I'll come back. I'll come back to it. So I'm gonna move. One second. Con. Salaklia, gotcha. I really wanted to get that, so I have it. It's 10, Hebrews 10 and 26, because we're talking about how obedience is better than sacrifice, right? Like as it says, if we this is Hebrews 10 and 26, it says, for if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. And it's saying that because we have heard, and he's telling us, like, he wants us to be obedient, and stop going against what he's saying, pretty much. Like, if you willfully sin, I guess that would be like premeditated. You think about the sin, and you even think about the consequences, let's say it like that, and then you do it anyway. That's willfully sinning, And I'll read down a little bit. It says, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of the Most High, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sacrificed an unholy thing. See, now when it speaks about the blood of the covenant, right? So Yahweh's blood brings us into the covenant, us admitting that he died and his blood was shed, for our sins to be forgiven, right? It says, wherewith he was sacrificed an unholy thing, and have done despite unto the Spirit of grace. And that Spirit of grace is him dying so that we will have a time period in order to get ourselves together, and come up under him, since we fell with Adam. Yahweh was that new intercessor, that new way for us to come back from when we fell with Adam, as the law with Moses was at first, but with Yahweh he's saying it's a fulfillment of that sacrifice, just that sacrifice, the animal sacrifice, him being the ultimate sacrifice, so that we don't have to keep sacrificing rams and all these things every time that we sin. It says, verse 30, for we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, saith Yahweh. And again, Yahweh shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, the Most High. But call to remembrance the former days, in which after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of affliction. So the part I wanted to get was about him wanting us to be obedient, and using that grace in righteousness, and not so that we can inherit the kingdom of heaven. These are certain things he says in Matthew 5 and 3, that we can inherit the kingdom of heaven. Let's go back. But there were certain things you can inherit it through his son Yahweh Shah Hamashiach now, but he doesn't want you to willfully sin just because he is, giving us grace. But it says, Matthew 5:3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Poor in spirit, but he wants us to come in obedience, to use his grace and righteousness, even though we are poor in spirit. There's a certain way he wants us to come to him and not to take advantage of his grace that he has given us. Matthew chapter 5 verse 4, blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. We're going to go to Isaiah 6, chapter 61. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. And we're going to do verses 2 through 3. Right? It says, it'll start from 1. It says, the spirit of Yahweh power is upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, to open the and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. There's a point, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of the Most High, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes and oil for joy. Beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, which is that poor spirit, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. So comes to set free captives mentally, because he's even setting us free now. You understand? So it's not talking about literally bringing us out of, well, it is literally bringing us out of captivity, not at this point in time, but for the most part spiritually, because this is a spiritual battle, to bring us out of those prisons and to give us comfort, because we mourning, in Zion. Our brothers get killed in the street every day. We struggle every day. Most of us, because he said we can get that to show who the poor is that he's talking about. He says the poor in spirit. Revelation 2:9. Let's get this. Revelation 2:9 says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are the Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So we poor, a lot of our people poor in spirit, because we feel down, but that is him setting free the captives, and being there for those that mourn, a comfort to those that mourn, being a comfort to them, and setting free the captives, because he's setting us free mentally and spiritually. Once you come into this truth and you get the understanding, you understand that spiritually you have things to be happy for, even though we go through the trials that we go through. It says Yahweh chastiseth those that he loves. So that makes us joyful when we do get chastised, but you know, Yahweh's sake, we understand that we are loved by Him, and that brings us joy, even though we still have to deal with the tribulations of this world and the being poor in spirit because we're being treated the way that we are by our persecutors. You understand that we still, it's like twofold. We have the happy spirit because we know, and at the same time we have that down spirit at times because we know what we have to face, you know, in order to get that righteous crown. So Matthew 5:5 says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." So we're going to go to Psalms 37 and 11. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Psalms 37 and 11 reads, "But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." The meek shall inherit the earth. And like I say, I'm doing a precept, so it said precept upon precept, you know, line upon line. And also, you have some brothers that's on the New Testament, some that's on the Old Testament, and some that are both like myself. So I just want to make sure, covering bases for however brothers look at. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 6 now. It says, "Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." So I want to go to John 4:14 really quick. John 4:14 says, "But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give, him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him as a well of water, springing up into everlasting life." Now, let's go to 1 Samuel 55. No, it's like Isaiah. Isaiah 55. We're gonna do 1 through 3. Says, "Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yeah, come buy wine and milk without money and without price." So this free living water. And you notice, and he's talking about this word, this water, that is going to bring you to life, right? Because it is the breath of Yahweh, the word of Yahweh, that same breath that when it was blown into Adam or Adam, you know, some people call them different, brought him to life. You know, it says the law is life. The law is light, and you are dead without that light. You know? And just to go to show you again, this word is free. It says you will freely be given as you freely receive, freely give. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get this word for free. We didn't have to pay anybody to get this word. Yet brothers are selling this word. Brothers are making breakdown DVDs and breakdown books and this and that, putting a word in that's already within. And I understand how things have to be done, but like we not supposed to be selling this word, like straight up. And brothers is off. I don't care if you are elder. I don't care who you call yourself being. He said, come and drink life's water free. We should not be charging. Taking offerings is a different thing, but as for making things with the word just so you can intentionally sell it, like that's wrong, man. You're not supposed to be selling the word. But we gonna go here. This is the last one I'm gonna do for today, or for now. Matthew chapter 5, verse 7. I'll speak on this. I speak on this too. Another thing that's so off, man. Like brothers is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like even how brothers, I've heard some brothers will charge people to come to the school or the camp. Like where they do that at? Like that is so off. Like how? You know what I'm saying? I remember even when I used to go, you know, used to be with Jehovah's Wickedness, you know what I'm saying? I like if they try to charge me to come in that building, you think I would have went in there? Like, come on, man, y'all hindering people. Like that got to stop, that greed, man, that filthy lucre's sake. For filthy lucre's sake, as the book talks about. But anyway, let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 7. It's a lot of things lost my place. Alright. Matthew chapter 5, verse 7 says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Let's get 2 Samuel 22. And we're going to get verse 26. Says, with the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful, and with the upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. So the Most High will show us mercy if we show others mercy, and I believe this is part of what it's talking about. Like it says, you know, we will be judged by our works. Like, meaning he'll judge you with the amount of mercy that you put out. You know, it says the Most High mercies are renewed every day, and he'll have mercy upon who we will have mercy upon. But also, you know, he deals with us according to the way that we deal with others, that, you know, that karma, as people like to call it. You know, that you get what you give, and, you know, people treat you like you treat others, you know what I mean? And the Most High, he sees what he does. That's why he said, the merciful, he that is merciful will obtain mercy, meaning he's going to give you what you push out, you know. But I really enjoyed making this lesson, actually. And Most High willing, like I was about to say, it was edifying to somebody. You know, I want to say h.o.i, no, Yahweh, Alka, Yahweh be upon you, or over you, is what I.o. means, on, over or upon. So Yahweh, Alka, Bayah, Yahweh be upon you, in your house, in your mashpaka, your family. So that, I'll say shalom.